Hi, my name is Ivan Fenton, and I just wanted to share with you a quick word of encouragement. So in 1 Samuel chapter 7, we find this interesting story of where the Ark of the Covenant has been placed at a man's house for over 20 years after the Philistines have given back the Ark of the Covenant when Israel lost it in war. And so for 20 years, there was no real worship of the Lord. But then in this story, the Israelites started calling out to God again. And they reached out to Samuel to come and help them with the worship process and facilitate this for them. So Samuel said to them, if you want to worship God, you have to do it with all of your heart, and you have to remove all of the idols from amongst you. So Israel did this, and all of them gathered together on the hill of Mizpah to offer to God sacrifices. So during this time, the Philistines heard about Israel gathering together and offering to God. And they came up against Israel to do war against them. So when Israel heard this and they see the army of the Philistines coming closer, they became afraid. And so they said to Samuel, please keep on calling out to the Lord on our behalf. And so Samuel took a young lamb and he offered it to God as a burnt offering for Israel, and he kept on calling out to the Lord. And the Bible says that the Lord thundered against the Philistines, throwing them into confusion so that Israel could chase after them. And it was interesting after this interaction with the Philistines that during the life of Samuel, the Philistines could never come up as an army against them again. Where before that, Israel was subdued by the Philistines. So how do we see this, and how do we translate it into the new covenant where we are living today? Well, we see that many times when people, and even ourselves, when we turn our heart onto God and we start seeking the Lord and we start renewing our quiet times and devotions to God, that the enemy come up against us. And in those times, many people fade away or give up. But I want to encourage you, because as Samuel offered that young lamb, our perfect sacrifice, Jesus, has been offered on our behalf, and the enemy has been thrown into confusion by the thundering of the Lord through the perfect sacrifice of Jesus. So I want to encourage you to keep on seeking God, to keep on with your daily devotions and your quiet times, because it's in those times of intimacy that our heart comes closer and closer to God, and we start manifesting Jesus in our lives. And we want to see the promises of God, and to do that, our hearts have to continually be soft before God. So I just want to encourage you, if you find yourself in a time where the enemy is coming up against you, just stand on the word and the promises of God for you. Stand on the promise that Jesus has been sacrificed for you and that Jesus has accomplished the victory on your behalf. The Bible says, when you draw near to God and resist the enemy, he will flee from you. That is a promise that you can stand on. May you have a blessed week.